was wonderful from Michael. That was fantastic.
He nailed it.
Absolutely. To Cindy and the entire McCain family, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor to be here with you and speak to two matters that John McCain cared so deeply about, spreading American ideals globally and also sports, and particularly Arizona sports. My third grade son is doing a book project right now to finish out school, and he picked a world leader, and he picked John McCain, of course. And I was driving him to school the other day, and I was challenging him. I said, tell me some fun facts about John McCain. What do you think are some of the coolest things you've learned so far? And I was kind of hoping he was going to do the gladiator, thumbs up, thumb down. But he said, I think it's really cool that he loved the Cardinals and the Suns and the Diamondbacks and the Coyotes so much. So honored to be here. So let's jump in with this great panel here. Michael, I want to start with you. Going back to 2005, you played the first regular season game in NFL history outside of North America. Played in Mexico City against the 49ers. You won that game.
Right.
You had over 100,000 fans. When you were in that moment, did you ever envision we would get to where we are now, where we're playing on seven countries, 4 continents, 9 games this year? Did you ever envision that?
The hope was yes, because we had been doing preseason games. The NFL had been doing preseason games for a long time. We knew that the fans over in Europe wanted to see the live game action, and some team had to be the first team to say, we'll give up a home game. We gave up a home game in 2005, and we were going to play at Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, and it was a wildly successful game. The NFL realized there is something real here, and that started the modeling of what the league office started modeling out. How could we do this? And this year we'll have 9 regular season games abroad in Europe, South America, Oceania, and it's just going to continue to expand. When we look forward, the hope is that we're going to have 16 games, regular season games, as we move forward, and really allow us to broaden the footprint of not just American football. We're the #1 sport in the United States, but also what this means, because outside of just the sports of it, and I think it's a great thing for international relations as well.
You're on all these different continents. What market has surprised you the most in terms of their interest in football?
It's probably Europe. I mean, and especially Germany. It is incredibly popular in Germany.
That was special. It went there, what, 4 years ago now for the first time? 4 years ago?
Regular season, yes.
Yeah.
And so we've moved it around from a few cities, but that is a really strong market. United Kingdom's a very strong market. We just looked at those other countries now as we build it out. Yeah. And that's sort of part of the, if you will, a pyramid of our strategy. NFL flag football, both boys and girls flag football, is a part of that strategy as well, and I'm sure we'll get to that in a few minutes.
Absolutely. And Kathy, I want to jump over to you. Can you talk a little bit about the NBA's global strategy and how it relates to your role as well in leading social responsibility and player programs?
Sure. First, thanks for having me. Obviously, the McCain family, we appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to be here. I think Senator McCain's favorite athlete of all time might have been Dikembe Mutombo, my colleague and great friend, and I know he enjoyed coming out here to this event as well. So thinking about him today, as I know, Cindy, you are as well. I would just say our strategy is twofold. One is we attract the best players in the world. Over 30% of our players are born outside the United States. So the best players in the world want to play in the NBA. But we also want to bring the NBA to the world. So a combination of very similar to the things that Michael was talking about. It starts with our grassroots programs. We obviously want to make sure that boys and girls are learning the game of basketball, learning the values of sports. Then we try to bring our events to the world, whether that's fan events, ambassador programs, preseason games, regular season games, and then just making sure that our games are accessible. Fans in over 200 countries can watch NBA basketball. We attract, I think, an extraordinary fan base on social media, some number of like 2.5 billion followers across the NBA family, and 75% of those followers are outside of the United States. So soccer might be, I know in the US, football is one. We all see that, but around the world, basketball is really an incredibly popular sport. So our goal is to both attract the talent to here, to our leagues, to our teams, but then also make sure that we're very present around the world.
And Michael touched on Europe. Can you talk a little bit about the NBA's European League strategy?
Yeah, we have a plan right now. It's been written about often about trying to grow and hopefully partner with the Euro League to create a new NBA Europe. We think the opportunity is there for both, not only to grow the game of basketball, it's incredibly popular in Europe, but there's also an opportunity, and this is part of our strategy, in Africa, too, is the economic opportunity. To build arenas, to create real economic opportunity through sports is another thing that we think is really important. So, yeah, we're very hopeful that we're going to have an NBA Europe League, and I think it's still a few years away, but very promising. And just another opportunity, again, same kind of strategy to develop the game, to develop boys and girls to play the game, but also to create jobs, create economic opportunity. So excited about what's happening in Europe.
Absolutely. And you think about where the NBA game has gone now, it's so global. You were mentioning that. David, with some of your players, so you drafted a great player out of Duke last year, Cohen from Africa. Can you talk a little bit about him and his, he's been exceptional in terms of giving back to the continent there.
Yeah. So first off, just thank you to the McCain family for having me. As a rookie to Arizona, being here in Sedona, it's amazing. So thank you. But to answer your question, Kaman Malawash is he's now 19 years old. He grew up in South Sudan, and he didn't pick up a basketball until he was about 14 years old. So this is a player on our team that has only played basketball for about 5 years. And coming from South Sudan, his upbringing was difficult, to say the least. But in terms of his development and what it's meant for NBA Africa and what it's meant for our scouting in Africa, it's amazing to see. And it's someone that I've been working closely with just because being from Sudan, that's a banned country. So being able to take him from the United States to Macau when we played in China, that was difficult, and it required us to work hand in hand with the State Department in order to ensure that his travel was going to be safe. But we got him there, and when he was in Macau, his presence, he's 7'3", just walking around, seeing the fan base in China look up to someone like that. When you're there, when you show up, it means a lot. So it's been really exciting, and he's a huge part of our future.
Great. You also got some good Canadian players. Dylan Brooks had a great season too.
And then Steve Nash as well. But Dylan and Steve are critical parts of of what we're doing. And Dylan Brooks he brings that tenacity, to say the least.
Absolutely. Now, one of the great things when you have these events where the teams get to go and the leagues get to go to these other markets is you get to really showcase your brand and your community to these other markets. Michael, something you've done a great job of over the years when you've played in London and also in Mexico City is you've built Arizona delegations that have gone down there and engaged with business leaders, civic leaders down there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it stems off of what we were doing around Super Bowls and Waste Management Phoenix Open, working closely with the governor's office, Governor Hobbs, and others in the Arizona Commerce Authority. We were doing it here, but I thought, boy, when we played a number of years ago in London, Governor Ducey led a delegation there. I didn't realize that at the time, the United Kingdom was the 4th largest trading partner with the state of Arizona. And so there was a lot of not only things that we could do around the football game and the fandom and the events, but also things that we could do with commerce between the United Kingdom and Arizona. So it just made perfect sense that we establish those business-to-business relationships, strengthen those relationships, including the government relationships, and try to benefit really both sides of this relationship and leverage the fact that we're having this game in London.
That's wonderful. And David, you have a big game coming up next year. The All-Star game is going to be right here in Arizona, just coming off of the WNBA All-Star game here. Both you and Kathy, can you talk a little bit about what some of your learnings were from the WNBA All-Star event, and also what are your goals for this upcoming NBA All-Star?
Yeah, so we hosted the 2024 WNBA All-Star, and that was our chance to show the outside world that Phoenix can be the epicenter of basketball. The economic development that it brings to the city is something that we're super proud of. And then just recently, we hosted the Women's Final Four for the first time in our arena. And again, the ability to show people how special Phoenix is, to tell the story of the business growth in Phoenix. It becomes so much more than just a basketball game. It's bringing people together, a lot of people that have never seen a women's basketball game before. And it's exciting, and it's unbelievable to watch the passion. It's special. And then the next year, 2027, we're going to be hosting the NBA All-Star Game. And I'm just reminded that last year, the NBA All-Star format was USA versus the world. For the first time, I think you see, Luka, Wemby, Jokic. These are household names. The sport has really evolved. And I believe, Kathy probably knows better than I do, that format will probably be here to stay.
We're breaking news here.
But
Off the record?
But just to finish off this thought, it's going to give us another chance to put Phoenix on the map. It's a gateway to our community, and we couldn't be more excited to host it and hopefully make it the best one ever.
And I'll just say that one of the great things about All-Star, and we're really excited to be back in Phoenix, we've obviously been here before for the All-Star game, is it's, as David was saying, it is not just about what's going to happen on the court, but the fan activities, the community events. We will have 5-6 days of community and social impact events, working closely with the Phoenix Suns and their organization to make sure that we're giving back to the community, leaving a lasting legacy, new basketball courts, new reading and learning centers, whatever we can do to make sure that the impact of the game lives beyond just the weekend itself. And I think that's what's really special about the All-Star game. Truthfully, it's about everywhere we go, we try to make sure that we're having some kind of impact. Even when we were in Macau last year with the Suns, making sure that our community events are really impactful and that we're making a difference wherever we go.
Do you think we'll ever see a All-Star game abroad?
I would say never, because we think it's possible. Certainly, we know there's interest. We obviously play preseason games and regular season games overseas. And so it's, the challenge of the schedule and the challenge of where. I certainly think it's something that could happen.
Perfect. Michael, I want to come back to something you touched on to begin with, which is flag football, going to be an Olympic sport in 28. You think about growing fandom across the globe. Flag football seems like a great vehicle for that, both here at home as well as globally. Can you talk about some of your initiatives leading up to 28 and how you're thinking about that?
So the NFL's initiatives around NFL flag and flag football globally have now, it's about 20 million people that are playing, boys and girls playing flag football around the world. And so it's incredible to see about 1.5 million teams. And so you see the fastest growth actually in Africa, if General Anderson is here, so and as well as in other areas. But in 2028, flag football will be, there you are, nice to see you, Doug. So the 2028, we're going to have men's and women's competition. I think there are 12 countries that are participating, including Japan, as I understand it. I double-checked that this morning. And so it'll be exciting to see what happens. 2032 is when the Olympics will be in Brisbane, and we're hoping it really sticks as a sport. But it's a way for us to not just teach the game of football, which can be complicated. For Americans, it's like trying to learn cricket. You're watching cricket, what's happening out there. So if we can teach them this game of flag football, 5 players, it's expensive to outfit a tackle football team, not expensive to do it with flag football. And then teach them some of and I think this is where it sort of spills over into, what are we trying to teach here? Well, I think it's discipline, it's sportsmanship, which is really important. Performance, obviously, and with flag football, size doesn't matter. It's about skill. speed, strategy, all those things that lots of people can play. You don't have to be 7'3", you don't have to be 300 pounds. And we even saw it recently where NFL players, some of them got smoked by just regular flag football players. And that was good for them to be humbled a little bit because. But when you think about, all the things that make America great, it's our democracy and it's our economy, which is capitalism. What's at the heart of that? It's competition, and it's people promoting the best ideas, being able to communicate them best, and that's how you win elections. And good ideas and communicating them also drive commerce, delivering products. And so I think this idea of sports, and us, America, and our partners trying to really because there's so many countries, we take it for granted here in America, but there's so many countries where there are not organized sports for kids. And so they lose out on that competition. They lose out on learning the rules, teamwork, sportsmanship, getting knocked down on your rear end and dusting yourself off and getting back up and getting ready for the next play. So I think these things are all good things. And we're looking forward to continuing to expand it. I know basketball is doing that as well.
Yeah, I would just add to that. I think that really what we are all doing is exporting the best of American values.
Yes.
And taking those values around the world and then combining it with the values that you learn playing sports. And I think that's what makes, policy and politics sometimes are the things that divide people. And sports and culture clearly bring people together. And when you go around, as we all have, travel the world, as everybody here does, sports is one of those things that really creates community, a sense of togetherness and a sense of joy at the same time. And that's not something that we take lightly. We understand that that's part of what we're doing when we travel the world. We want to bring those moments and create those memories for people, for fans around the world that are going to stay with them forever. And it's both the experience of playing. It's why we want our sports to be accessible. I think what the NFL has done with flag is extraordinary. It's the same with our sport. Basketball is very accessible, available very easily. Kids can play it. All you need is a ball and a hoop, and girls and boys can have the opportunity to play. But it's really about, we do, I think, bring something that doesn't often happen in the world that can bring communities together. And when we travel and we see the fandom wherever we are, the reaction to the players, I'm reminded, Victor Wembanyama, who's a unicorn on and off the court. 2 years ago in New York, he was playing in New York, and he posted something, I think on Twitter, at X, whatever people want to call it. And he said, I'm in New York for today. I'm gonna pull up to play chess if anybody wants to meet me. And he went to Washington Square Park, and in a little bit of rain, spent 3 hours playing chess with whoever came by. And it got 100 million views on social media.
Wow. Just
Victor playing chess in the park with New Yorkers of all ages and backgrounds. I mean, those kinds of things, you could think like, ooh, we should do that. Hey, Victor, do you want to? But he just did it himself, and that's the special nature of what sports can do. Create something that you can't make up. It's reality television at its best.
Absolutely. And leading into the Olympics, NBA and basketball, the Dream Team, 92 Olympics in Barcelona, that was kind of the original exporter of sports from.
Yeah, and very intentionally. The commissioner at the time, David Stern, was very focused on growing the game globally. And the same way now the NFL is using that model. We were very intentional about creating opportunities for the best players in the world to play on the best stage, and that's the Olympic stage. And that has, no question, that has accelerated the growth for basketball. And again, it's why, you hear players all the time talk about watching those games and then saying, I want to be in the NBA one day. And now, again, we've got 30% of our league is born outside of the United States, really thanks to the Dream Team.
That's awesome. We're trying to break news as much as we can here. So is Steph going to come back for one last dance for the Olympics, 28?
Oh, I think he's already said probably not, but I don't want to speak for him.
Got to try to get him back. And David, what are the Suns thinking about activating either around the World Cup coming up in 26? I know, not playing games here, but just bringing that attention here to the United States or the Olympics in 28?
Yeah, so I think this would go back to our investment in China. We were the first NBA team in quite some time to return to China, and we saw the stats. We saw the amount of viewers. I think it was over 700 million people in China last year watched some part of an NBA game. That's double the amount of people in the United States. We didn't ignore that. We jumped into it, and we traveled 15 hours to get to Macau. We spent over a week there, and we're still going back to that region because we've been able to forge partnership deals as a result of our investment in the region. Another point that I'll add is the jersey patch. You're seeing Visit Rwanda on the Los Angeles Clippers jersey patch, Experience Abu Dhabi on the New York Knicks. The amount of foreign investment due to the viewership, due to the diversity of the viewership, is something that we also haven't ignored. So the amount of international marketing deals, we haven't really targeted the World Cup, but it's something, our fan base is so much more than Phoenix. It's probably 50% based in the United States and then 50% international. And it's something that we consciously make decisions to invest in that international fan base.
Yeah, that's something I've spoken with you and your leadership team about is really making a conscious effort to go out and build sponsorships and partnerships in the UAE, in China. Are other teams doing that as well, or are you kind of taking the lead on that?
So the Nets and the Suns were the first team to bring back the China games. I think Kathy's going back to Macau this October for the Rockets and the Mavericks to play again. But when we played in those arenas, it was a sold-out crowd. I think tickets were upwards of $1,000 just to get into the arena. I mean, the atmosphere there is real. It's unbelievable when you walk around and you see people out the door lining up for an autograph. It's just a great reminder that what we're doing is so much more than just a basketball game. This is a hobby. This is something that someone attaches themselves to. But I believe that the NBA plans to continue playing in China because that market is so special.
Yeah, I think Commissioner Silver a few years ago said only 2% of NBA fans will ever attend a game, but I know he wants to chip in.
Yeah, but that's one of the strategies, of course, for all of us is just making sure that the games are accessible and that fans around the world can consume our content, and whether that's highlights or whether that's full games. Obviously there's time difference that you're working through, but there's such interest in American sports outside of the United States. And again, I think that's why the values, the opportunity to kind of extend our markets, to bring our games, to bring our events, and to attract the best talent from around the world. It goes both ways, and so that's what I think makes it so special for us.
Absolutely. And Michael, a few years ago, the NFL opened up international marketing rights to teams. They had to apply for different markets, and then they could gain acceptance. I think all NFL teams now have at least one market that they're focused on. You chose Mexico and Canada. Can you talk a little bit about that decision and what you hope to get going forward, as well as what you've already achieved?
So we were the first team that really aligned North America in the NFL, and we just thought it made a lot of sense. We started with Mexico, added Canada thereafter. There's, again, back going to alignment with Arizona, our economy, what's happening here already. We have a lot of Mexicans, people of Mexican descent, a lot of Mexican visitors, a lot of Canada visitors. We already knew that folks were coming to our game, and it made perfect sense. Let's grow the fandom in both of those countries. We've been working longer in Mexico than in Canada, but we're seeing fast growth with our Canadian snowbird programs, including the first flag football league in Canada. We've developed our own teams up there, and I think there are over 1,000 kids that are already involved in one city. So it's growing quickly. There's an appetite for it, and we're going to continue working hard at it.
And you're starting to get some good NFL players coming out of international markets as well.
There are. We've got programs where we're the NFL is they've got training centers, including in Africa, where players can learn the basic skills of the game. We've got, and we're going to continue to grow that program. There are also these programs or facilities in the United States. And so it's not just us, but I think college football is looking at it as well. Yeah. So it's a good thing, and it's giving people opportunities to grow just like basketball and other sports have done.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago, the only NFL players from another country were Aussie rules punters.
Or the kickers. We have a few kickers from
yeah.
Mexico.
But now, I mean, you're seeing NFL linemen from Mexico, Canadian players, European players. It's really exciting.
Exactly.
I want to finish off here talking a little bit about the future and what things look like on the horizon. When we're sitting here 10 years from now and we say, NBA and NFL are focused on what market are we talking about, or where are we going to see growth going forward?
I mean, I think Asia is going to continue to be a huge area, and Africa is going to be a huge area. Europe seems to be where we're really focused. South America, no doubt. There are fewer issues going south to Brazil and others, and that's the largest economy in the southern hemisphere, I believe, is in Brazil. Why wouldn't we be there? It's a huge opportunity for us. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it develops. We'll do it in conjunction, with our players and working through some of the labor issues that we'll need to work through. Part of the thing that we have to balance is that competitive balance in terms of the rules around playing some of these many time zones away games because of the circadian rhythm, and that the body just can't catch up sometimes, and we got to take care of our players' health and safety. So there are a lot of things to study, including the markets and how they react to what we're bringing to them in terms of our product.
Yeah. Well, if it's just from what you've seen, you come into Germany, you're selling everything out. You've been performing very well in these new markets.
They get sold out in minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast it goes in some of these countries. So we're excited about all these opportunities. And there's still a chance. The NFL schedule comes out in a couple of weeks. We could be the road team for one of these games. So we're on the schedule with a few of these teams that are playing. So if we are, I'd expect that we're gonna lean into it pretty hard.
Is there any new market that you've been itching to go to, or you've been lobbying Commissioner Goodell a little bit on?
Well, for me, I think Brazil was a no-brainer because of the reasons I just outlined. But I think the European markets, I think the fact that we're looking at Madrid, France, other major European countries like that, I think is great. So we'll see what continues to unfold. But I know that the team, including your brother-in-law Peter O'Reilly at the NFL, they're studying all these different markets and where we can pull it off, and it's about building the right sort of thing, the right sort of arrangement for the NFL and for the cities. What's interesting is the cities are now coming to us because they realize the impact of what sports can do, and I assume it's just not us, the NFL, but the NBA as well, because there is a big benefit for the amount of fans, the amount of exposure that these cities and these countries get, from Americans as we're all tuning in to watch these games in Macau or wherever they may be. That's really a positive thing for those cities as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just say, I think for us, we played a preseason game in 2019 in India, and I think we saw opportunity there. It's obviously not a game that is as popular as it is in other places, but there was a real passion and interest that I thought we tapped into. The pandemic kind of set us back, so I would say 10 years from now, it's probably more of a presence in the India market, just the size of it, the scope of it. It is a very passionate sports country, just not basketball. So we got to get more kids learning the game of basketball. So that's going to be one of our priorities.
And then I would just say the growth of the WNBA.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Mercury, it's their 30th anniversary. The trajectory of that sport, the valuations of these WNBA teams, the fact that we drafted 2 international players this year, that we had the Japanese national team play the Mercury this past week. That sport in 10 years is going to just continue to grow, and it's just now taking off, and to have a front row seat to it has been amazing. So I think in 10 years you're going to be seeing valuations that are, maybe close to $1 billion, when 3 years ago we weren't even at $100 million.
It's exciting. All right, we got 10 seconds. Last few, like a shot clock here. Are we ever going to have a team, a Big Four North American sports team, play outside of the U.S. or Canada?
It's a great question, and it gets back to how that works in terms of the competitive aspects of it, and I think there are a lot of things to study around that. I know the NFL is studying it. I'm sure the other leagues are as well.
Can I answer differently? I just want to touch on something that somebody brought up yesterday about America's 250th, and I know it's something that both the NFL and our league are very much behind, and have had some great moments at the Super Bowl, and we had a great moment at the All-Star game in Los Angeles. Again, I think another opportunity where sports can bring people together. We had a really, really powerful moment in LA during our All-Star game right before the anthem, just talking about the resilience of the American spirit, the values, the role that community service and volunteerism can play. So we've got a few things coming up during the playoffs and finals that will continue that, and I know that's something that we share.
Absolutely.
It's exciting. Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you for having us here. This is wonderful.